Hi, I'm Allison, and this video is about the inner child. This short video will talk about, in this short video, I will talk about what an inner child is. So an inner child is really exactly what it sounds like. It's a child inside of an adult. In my opinion, it can also be inside of a teenager or even an older child. There could be an inner child. And obviously, this doesn't mean like a physical child, like a person inside you, unless you are literally pregnant and carrying a child. This means like an energy of a child that exists or lives, or I don't know what the right verb is, but is inside of you and me. And this concept is used by a lot of people, and it's used in some different ways. The way I'm talking about it right now is what's commonly referred to as the wounded inner child. So this means that in childhood, most of us had some level of what we call wounding or pain. And this is basically when we didn't get our needs met, or we were hurt somehow, or both, obviously. And these wounds can be very varied. Maybe when you were little, you didn't feel safe. You may have literally not been safe. You may have not been safe most of the time, or even all of the time, or you may have not been or felt safe some of the time. You may have had caregivers who didn't meet your needs well. They may have not, met your basic needs well, like given you healthy food in a consistent manner, in a loving manner. Maybe you didn't have a safe place to live. You didn't have shelter. You may not have had love and touch. You may have had all that stuff, but then you may have also had some sort of emotional confusion or pain, where maybe your caregivers sometimes seemed angry at you and you didn't understand why, or were overtly angry and even mean to you. Children experience every type of abuse. You probably know that, but they can be hurt physically by their caregivers or by others or by their siblings or by other family members or other people, even caregivers outside of the home. All kinds of stuff can happen to the vulnerable child. And even if in your childhood you mostly got your needs met and you had food and shelter and love and care and touch and safety, you still might have a wounded inner child inside for a variety of reasons. You may have just never really felt really seen by your caregivers. You may have felt misunderstood, or you just may have felt lonely and alone. You may have had a sense that you were kind of lost and all by yourself. Even if you weren't in a physical way, you still might feel like that. And so the inner child that I'm talking about is basically you from when you were little and you were experiencing any of the things I just described, or any of the many, many, many other ways children can experience pain. So the energy of that child is still in there. Unless you've had a lot of healing and they're healed and they have been integrated into the adult self, which is what will happen, then they're still in there, waiting. So I'm going to make a series of videos in which I just go for it and talk directly to your inner child. And sometimes I'll talk to you too and try to help you work with and take care of your inner child. Because that's the very exciting thing. is that even though in childhood you may have experienced very severe wounding, and you may have experienced very subtle wounding, or you may have experienced both of those at different times. The thing is, that wounding impacts you for the rest of your life, for one thing. That's one thing to understand. The other thing is it can be healed. That energetic being inside of you can receive love and attention and affection and care and playfulness and nurturance and everything that you needed but didn't get. Guess what? You can get it now. And that's why I'm going to make these videos, because I'm a therapist. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist in California. And one of my focuses and interests is working with real children, actual physical children, and the inner child. And so I'd like to offer these videos for you. And when you watch them, I'll explain this in the videos, but the idea is that we just begin to find that inner child inside of you. We begin to find them and begin to care for them and attend to them so they can finally get what they needed back in the day, and they can finally start getting it now, and you can begin to heal. And over time, if you really allow yourself to receive this healing, and there's plenty of work you can do to help the inner child heal, you can change your life. You can change your experience of life, because the inner child inside of you is actually part of the key to your happiness. That little part inside of you that might feel not good enough or not worthy or just not okay or not allowed to be here or not acceptable or bad or ugly or fat or dumb or anything, which of course they aren't. They're a precious little child, whoever they are. Them feeling that way impacts you all the time, day in and day out, all the time. So as you begin to show that child inside of you and tell that child that no, they're not those ways that they thought they were. They're not dumb and fat and ugly and worthless and all those negative ideas that they've been carrying around for 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, on and on and on, 90 years. We carry these ideas around forever if we don't address them. And so it's our job as adults or teens or older children to go in there and find that child and tell them, no, you're not only are you not those bad things, you are so precious. You're amazing. And as the child begins to believe us and we start to help it heal, the energy of that wounded child will shift and it will transform, actually. And then it will be freed up to inform and be part of your adult self. And that's when life really starts feeling good. That's when you basically recapture your childhood qualities. Things like playfulness, spontaneity, curiosity, quiet, observance, being observant, tactile, sensorial, silly, joyous, goofy, real, emotional, all of these ways that you actually are, but you've made yourself not be because you thought it wasn't okay, because of the environment and the relationships you had. That can all change. So please join me if you're curious in my future videos where I'm going to go ahead and talk directly to your inner child. So thank you so much for listening, and I hope to see you soon. Bye for now.